Do you find yourself avoiding or resisting risk-taking? Do you weigh up the pros and the cons over and over and over again without actually going for what it is that you deep down know that you feel called to do? Do you find yourself stuck even though that you know that there is a certain risk that you are meant to take and go for? That might be in your relationships, that might be in your work, that might be in the relationship to yourself, that might be in stepping into a brand new identity, right? Risk-taking can come in so many shapes and forms, in so many degrees as well. But one thing that I know for sure after having been a coach for high performers with perfectionism for a long time is that risk-taking involves that you meet emotional exposure, vulnerability, and it takes bravery to go for something that you deep down know is true to you. But oftentimes perfectionism is what is blocking you. And so in this video, we are going to cover why it is that life and business actually rewards risk takers, and you can begin to see yourself as a risk taker. And that is exactly what can shift your reality. When you begin embodying a risk taker and redefining risk for yourself so that you can begin to see the benefits of it even before you take the risk. This is so powerful, and I'm so excited to share this all with you. Make sure to hit the like button whenever you feel like something that I say adds value to you, so that we can share this message with even more people just like you, so they also can find this video. And subscribe as well if you'd like more tips, more value that can help you activate the true light sunflower and bloomer within you and be able to create a life and business of freedom from perfectionism with the power of the subconscious mind. Because what we're really going to do here is shift your subconscious way of thinking about risk so that the next time that you face a risk or a decision, then you already have been subconsciously rewired to go for it. So let's dive in. Okay. What I have written down here at the very top here is that life and business rewards risk takers. And this is something that I've actually seen as a tendency in my own life and also in the lives of those that I have helped bloom beyond perfectionism, right? I've seen that life and business rewards those that step out there into the unknown and that have a high tolerance for discomfort or discomfort of the unknown, the unfamiliar, that which has not been explored yet. And so taking risks means that you up your tolerance for discomfort and do it anyways. So whatever decision that you are facing on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a lifetime basis, this really is about upping your tolerance for discomfort, the discomfort that you know that you will meet when you make a certain decision, when you take a certain risk, right? But you choose to do it anyways. So even though that you are aware that you will face some discomfort, some potential pain, some fears, some this and that, you have subconsciously decided to live in a way where you choose that. You choose that. You choose to feel through that because you know in the long term, in the long haul, it's going to pay off. At least you have faith it is. And you know that everything is connected, right? Every single decision you make is connected. And that the universe is for you. It's not happening to you. So whatever happens whenever you make a certain risk, you know that everything is well, no matter what happens. And so you then can stand in that discomfort, that unknown, that unfamiliarity, and you know for yourself that this is true to you. You have faith, you have trust in yourself, in the universe. Furthermore, think about it this way. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. So I invite you to right now imagine yourself way older than you are now, with way more wisdom and years on your hands. And I invite you to visualize yourself sitting in a chair or laying on your bed as an old human being. And I invite you to look back at your life from that position, from that place of looking back. Ask yourself, have I lived out and taken risks the way that I wanted to? Have I been willing to face the unfamiliar? Have I been willing to face discomfort? Have I been willing to do what felt true to me? And from this place, you obviously would want to say yes. Who wouldn't? Who would want to end up at the end of their lives thinking, I wish that I tapped into that bravery, that intuition, that intuitive nudge? You obviously would want to say that you actually lived your life and you added value in your business. You created innovation. You added value in whatever way, even in your family, with your friends. You would want to face yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I went for it. I trusted. I had faith and I went for it. So the biggest risk is not taking any risk. That is the biggest risk. So whatever risk that you're facing, compare that to not taking any risk at all. When you think about it that way, it will become way easier for you to take that risk, right? Furthermore, perfectionism says risks should be avoided at all costs because it introduces the potential for failure and emotional exposure. Now let's look at what this actually is about and what belief you have to have in order to kind of say this, right? You would then have to believe that taking risks could potentially lead to failure. And that is oftentimes what is creating resistance towards taking a risk and going for something and leaving something behind, making a decision to cut something off. So you would have to believe that whatever you do, there will be a right and a wrong result, that there will be a good consequence and a bad consequence of what you're doing. If you believe that, then you also believe in failure. Whereas if you now begin to shift your focus and attention from, okay, this is going to be a failure or a perfect result, to no matter what happens, I will receive feedback. When you begin to look at everything from that point of view, that lens of no matter what I do, I will get feedback. I will grow from that feedback because I am a person that chooses to take risk, that chooses emotional exposure, that chooses to face whatever happens and integrate it and learn from it and grow from it. You're more likely to then actually go for it and take risks. So instead of avoiding risks, you instead lean into the risk, knowing that you will get feedback from it. Now, making calculated risks, this is what a lot of people talk about, actually means thinking about the second and third order consequences, but ultimately trusting and having faith in your intuition and kind of information perceived by the clairs. So the way that I have come to recognize it and realize through my own personal life experience and also from coaching others with this exact thing of taking risks is that it's two-sided, okay? It's not that you're just gonna forget about what might happen. That is what I would call stupidity, okay? That's when you just bluntly act on just instinct, okay? Just instinct and just kind of your, how do you say, the way that you think that things should be, right? Right then and there, and just living like an animal, okay? We are evolved creatures. We are evolved creatures, and you are an evolved human being. You get to choose conscious decision making, which does not mean that you are overthinking. It does not mean that you are, just in your head about all the things that you're gonna do. No. It means that you actually put your focus towards the present. You're able to also think about the second and third order consequences of the decision and the risk made. And you're also, at the same time, tuning into your intuition and the information that you receive constantly from your surroundings through what I call the clairs. So the clairs would be, let's say, clairvoyance, right? The third eye here. Clairaudience, okay? Clairsentience, that is your feeling. And claircognizance, which is your knowing. Because that is conscious decision making. It's being in touch with your body. Because your body, do you know how intelligent it is? It's so freaking intelligent. It's way more intelligent than what our minds are, okay? Your mind can carry you away and actually prevent you from taking risks at all, which would inevitably lead to oftentimes just living as you've done in the past. Just repeating the past or repeating your ancestry's past. Instead, you want to tune in to your intuition, your bodily intelligence, your heart intelligence, which is extremely intelligent. And trust the clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience, claircognizance. This is something that you get to activate when you bloom beyond perfectionism, and that is exactly what I support you with in the Bloom Beyond Tribe, as well as our paid programs, Bloom Beyond Perfectionism and Bloom Beyond Mastermind. You can get support with being able to actually become and see yourself as a risk taker, because it takes an identity shift to go from perfectionist to I am a risk taker now. I choose to live my brightest, bravest, and most balanced life. And that will involve me taking risks and going for it, trusting my intuition. It takes for you to decondition the perfectionism, and that in and of itself is quite a project. And that is the exact project. That is the exact journey that I have laid out and spent years. I've dedicated my life to creating a program for you to go through, to be able to actually transform your life and business to the point where you are actually a risk taker. You are leaning into vulnerability, you're facing emotional exposure, you are going for it and living life, feeling alive. That is what I want for you. And I invite you to come into the Bloom Beyond Tribe to get to know me, for me to get to know you, your current situation and your desired situation, and see whether we can bridge that gap together through the paid programs. Then, that being said, you can then come in, but first send an application. So go to the link in the description, fill in that application, I'll read through it, and then once it might be your turn to join, then I will invite you to come into the group as well. And we will take it from there. Because I'm so excited for you, your growth, for you to be able to also bloom beyond perfectionism in your life and business. With that being said, I hope that this added value to you. Make sure that you hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated and helps us spread the message. And click the subscribe button if you haven't already, for you to get even more value just like this. I'm sending you so much light and love. Keep taking the risks, lean into it, and trust your intuition. Always. Stay bright, stay brave, and stay balanced.